Hello, and welcome to my podcast, Good Grief. My name is Dr. Christine Malone, and in this podcast, we talk about trauma, tragedy, and survival. In each episode, I will interview someone that has gone through grief in some way, and we will discuss the impact it has had on their life. By sharing these stories, we hope that others won't feel alone should they be going through similar situations. Enjoy. Hello, listeners. Thank you for joining me for this episode. I am not interviewing anyone today. Instead, I'm just going to talk about grief and surviving the holidays. So I will speak for myself in that when I was a child, Christmas time was not a great holiday. My parents were both alcoholics. They screamed and fought with one another. My mother was quite abusive. So Christmas meant I just wanted to hide and not be out and not be part of the family festivities, although they weren't very festive to begin with. So as I grew up and grew into adulthood, I loved having my children and spending time with them on the holidays. However, one thing I noticed as I've gone through various types of grief with over time, for instance, with my first husband, he committed suicide when my kids were 2 and 4 years old. It was August, and so when the holidays came up, when it was Christmas time, it was time to decorate the tree, decorate the house, wrap presents. I was not feeling it at all, but I had this 2 and 4 year old, so I wanted to go through the motions for them. So I got a tree and I put it up and I put the lights on it and I told the kids that they could decorate the tree however they wanted to. So they got it ornaments and about the lower 1/3 to 1/4 of the tree was decorated by them. The rest of it was not, but that was our tree that year. So as years passed, and I got remarried, started and add more children to the family. We used to go out and cut down our tree every year. We'd bring it home, and I would do the lights, and the kids and my husband would do the decorations. And we played Christmas music in the background. We'd have some hot cider. It was a very festive and fun event. I like the ornaments that my kids would make for me in school and so on, the ones with their photos on them or handprints or whatever they are. They've always been my favorites. So when my son Ian was born in 1999, he was severely injured due to medical malpractice. And that Christmas was another one that I needed to make some sort of alterations to. So once again, didn't want to celebrate Christmas, but my kids were there and I needed to celebrate Christmas for them. So I went through the motions. We had Christmas. To be honest, I don't even remember that Christmas very well. During Ian's life, we did go get a Christmas tree. We continued that tradition. However, when Ian died, I needed to change up the holiday traditions. So we went with an artificial tree starting that year. I missed the smell of the pine tree, but I just needed something different. Although one tradition I kept going with was to hang up those sentimental ornaments, including the one that a friend gave me for Ian's first Christmas in 1999. So I've always enjoyed doing that. One thing I've noticed over the years is that it's completely okay to change up those holiday traditions as you need to. I also know that the holidays can bring up grief and loss that happened a long time ago. I call those pockets of grief, where you've lost someone or you're grieving something and, life is going great, but then here comes the holidays and you remember them celebrating the holidays in a certain way and they're not there. Their chair is empty at the table. And those can be really hard, those pockets of grief. And it's incredibly important to give yourself grace and to say to yourself, it's okay. It's completely okay. There's always going to be that space in your heart where the person who's gone is residing and they're no longer here in person. And that's difficult. And in many cases, I know there are people who try to just kind of shut down for holidays. I've done that myself many years ago. I remember I didn't want to celebrate Thanksgiving, so I went to Canada for Thanksgiving because it's not celebrated there the same time as we have it here in the US. So my takeaway message is getting through the holidays sometimes is more difficult than others. And even though 10 years out from someone being lost, you feel like you're better, and then the next year you're not. It's okay. It's totally okay. It's like waves rushing over you, and how you get through those is how you get through those. It's all about how You manage your own personal health and mental health, and reach out to those around you. So if being with family makes you feel warm and good about things, then do that. If being alone is what you want, there's nothing wrong with that either. Just be sure you're being good to yourself. So I wish you all a wonderful, wonderful Christmas season. And I hope everyone is taking care of yourselves and those around you. And again, give yourself grace, be good to yourself, and thanks for listening. Thank you for listening to this episode of Good Grief. To hear more about my personal story, please pick up a copy of my book, The Day I Became the Spider Killer, a memoir of trauma, tragedy, and survival, available in paperback, Kindle, and Audible via Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other online book retailers.